Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're digging into Unnao. It's this town in Uttar Pradesh, India.
Right. Kind of sits between Lucknow and Kanpur, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Often gets a bit overshadowed, I think.
Exactly. And you shared this podcast script with us that highlights some places there.
Yeah, just some interesting snippets.
So our mission really is to pull out the most, well, compelling bits from that script, see if we can maybe spark some curiosity about this, less explored spot.
It's amazing how places like that, ones that seem sort of ordinary on the surface, can have these really intriguing layers. History, local character.
Totally. Just shows there are cool stories everywhere if you look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get into it. The script kind of starts by weaving together nature and history. First stop, the Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary.
Ah, yes. About 45 kilometers from Lucknow, it said.
Right. And this isn't just like your average local park. It seems pretty important for birds that travel, well, huge distances.
Yeah, that's what really stood out. Migratory species, some flying all the way from Siberia.
Siberia, wow.
It's incredible, isn't it? Makes you think about how these, seemingly local spots are actually crucial for these massive global movements, like little rest stops.
Vital rest stops, yeah. Why there, though? I wonder what's special about that particular wetland.
Good question. Maybe the food source,
Hmm.
or just a safe place on that long journey south. The script didn't really dive into the why, but it highlights the fact itself.
And it's not just the migratory birds, is it? There's other stuff.
Right, it mentioned a deer park. And a small reptile house, too. So a bit more biodiversity there.
You can sort of picture it, can't you? A quiet afternoon, just watching, observing these journeys.
Yeah, that kind of quiet observation. It feels increasingly rare, doesn't it?
It really does.
And valuable, just connecting with nature, seeing these migrations. It gives you a different perspective, I think, on scale, resilience, all that.
Okay, so shifting from feathers to faith, maybe. The script then takes us to the Bade Charaha Shiv temple.
Mm-hmm. An old temple.
Sounds like it's more than just, a building for worship. It seems like a real community hub.
That detail about Mondays really painted a picture for me, especially lively on Mondays with devotees and local vendors.
Yeah.
It makes it sound less like a quiet, solemn place and more like the heart of the community almost.
Yeah.
Social life, local business.
You can almost smell the incense and hear the chatter, right?
Totally. The bargaining, the greetings. It makes you wonder why Mondays specifically. Is that particularly significant for Shiva worship there?
Good point. The script didn't say, but it points to that living, breathing social fabric.
Uh-huh.
Then the script talks about Buxar Fort, and it makes a really important clarification.
Oh, yeah. That was key. This is not the famous Buxar Fort in Bihar.
Right. This is Unnao's own Buxar Fort. Different history tied to local events, local conflicts.
And that's a great reminder, isn't it? History isn't just the big famous battles.
Definitely not.
Every town, every village has its sites, its stories, like this fort. Echoes of the past, You start wondering about the specifics, what happened here.
So maybe not as famous, but still a window into the region's specific past.
Exactly. A local window.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. The second part of the script gets into, well, legends, a bit of mystery, and food. Can't forget the food.
Always important.
First up is another fort, Shivrajpur Fort. This one's in ruins, though.
Ruins always get the imagination going, don't they?
Oh, for sure. What did it look like? What happened?
And then there's that legend the script mentioned.
Yeah.
Underground tunnels.
Yeah, connecting it all the way to Kanpur.
Wow. Whether it's true or not, the fact that the legend exists is interesting. It tells you something about local imagination, maybe a desire to link their history to bigger places.
Or just a fascination with secrets, hidden paths, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Universal appeal, really.
Following that, we get to what the script calls the most infamous story, the Unnao treasure mystery.
Ah, Dandiya Keda, 2013, right? That was quite the media circus.
It really was, all based on a local sadhu's dream.
A dream of gold. 1,000 tons of gold buried under an old fort.
It's kind of unbelievable that it led to an actual archaeological dig funded by the government.
It is. It's this amazing collision of local folklore and national attention.
Yeah.
How does a dream suddenly become something the Archaeological Survey of India acts on? It says a lot about the power of stories, doesn't it?
And how quickly they can capture everyone's imagination, even without much, proof.
Right. That blend of the mystical and the official. And then, of course,
If they found nothing.
exactly, no gold, which almost makes the story even more I don't know, compelling.
Yeah, it leaves you thinking about belief, hope, the stories we want to be true.
What makes a story like that grip a whole nation? Fascinating stuff.
Definitely. Okay, changing pace completely now. The final bit of the script looks at culture and, yes, food in Unnao.
Which, as you said, is often the best way to really get a feel for a place.
Couldn't agree more.
Food is just so tied up with identity, tradition,
Mm.
everything.
And the script mentions specific things: authentic Uttar Pradesh street food, kachoris, jalebis.
Spicy chaat sounds delicious. It gives you that sensory hit, that taste of daily life.
It's not just fuel, it's heritage. Passed down recipes, local ways of making things. I wonder if Uno's versions are slightly different from, say, Lucknow's.
Probably. Those regional variations are always interesting.
And it highlights Thendai, especially for summer. That sounds incredibly good right now,
So
actually.
refreshing, yeah. It's those little details, the food, the drinks, that really ground the experience, I find, makes it feel real.
So true.
And what I like is how this script, pulls all these different threads together.
Yeah.
You've got the birds, the temples, the forts, the legends, the food. It paints a much richer picture of Unnao than just, oh, it's that town between Lucknow and Kanpur,
It really does. It shows that a place is made up of all these layers interacting.
giving it its own unique feel.
Okay, so wrapping things up, Unnao might seem like just a spot on the map, but actually there's quite a bit going on.
A surprising amount, yeah.
Yeah. You've got nature, spirituality, history, both the known and the legendary, and that taste of local life through its food.
And stepping back, Unnao kind of serves as a reminder, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, just that there are so many places like it, maybe overlooked, not on the main tourist drag, but still full of history, culture, interesting stories.
Yeah. It challenges us to look beyond the obvious destinations.
Exactly. To not assume a place isn't interesting just because it's not famous.
So for everyone listening, maybe this sparks a little curiosity, makes you think differently about places you might just, drive through.
Or places right near you, even. It raises that question. How often do we just accept the surface view of a place?
Right. Unnao's story shows that if you dig just a little bit,
You can find extraordinary things in seemingly ordinary locations.
it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden gems are out there? Maybe closer than we think.
A good prompt to keep our eyes and minds open to discovery wherever we are.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive into Unnao with us today. Makes you think, what other unexpected stories are waiting just off the beaten path? Something to ponder.